Hey everybody, Playtendoguy here, and I'm back with another video. It's a new month, so you know what that means. It's the end of the month haul for the month of October. And overall, it's been not a bad month. There's a huge stack of stuff from One Below, and a few from Poundland, as well as quite a few H&V stuff. So there's a lot to get in, so without further ado, let's get into it. So yeah, we've got a pretty decent stack from One Below, and first up I'm going to start off with Poundland, and we've got 6 titles, which surprised me. They're all DVDs. I think Poundland are just moving away from the Blu-rays and stuff, but we did pick up 6 titles, and they're all pretty new stuff. So I picked up The Game of Death with Wesley Snipes. Haven't really got a clue what it's about. I think it's like one of these straight-to-video sort of films, over-the-top actions, but it's Wesley Snipes, so it could be a good time. Next up is a TV show that appeared on ITV ages ago. It's a sort of like a Yorkshire Western, so to speak, and that is Jericho, starring what's the name from called Midwife. I remember watching this back in the day. It was alright, but for a quid, it's hard to say no. This one caused quite a lot of controversy back in the day, but that is The Interview with James Franco and Seth Rogen. This one did definitely cause a lot of controversy back in the day because it's about North Korea and interviewing the leader. Haven't seen the film yet, but I've heard it's not as funny or as groundbreaking as it's trying to be, but I'm willing to give it a go. I mean, James Franco, Seth Rogen are a pretty good, cool double act. Next up is a thriller that I haven't seen before, but it's Cold in July. Normally it's warm, but no, it's cold in July. Yeah, don't really know much about it, but I've heard some decent things about it. It's got a nice slip, so yeah, I'm willing to give that one a go. We have Ewan McGregor and Jennifer Connelly, as well as Dakota Fanning in American Pastoral. I think this is like an American political drama. Don't really know much about it, but as it was new and still sealed, I thought give it a go. And then the final one I picked up from Poundland is Blackadder the Third. Yeah, fantastic series with Rowan Atkinson as well as Hugh Laurie. Great season. Really do like the franchise. Really do like the franchise. Really do like the series. Probably should have just got the box set because the box set's only about a tenner, but for one series for a quid with about 6 or 7 episodes, I'm pretty happy with that. So yeah, that's Blackadder the Third. Next up is One Below, and we did pick up a decent selection of Blu-rays there and quite a few DVDs. The Blu-rays are certainly an interesting bunch, starting off with Zoolander 2. I am lost for words why I picked this one up. This is going to be absolutely awful. But hey, I've got a spare case. So if it's that bad, I can keep the case and just get rid of the disc. Next up, we have Welcome to the Punch with James McAvoy and Mark Strong. I think I can remember this one coming out not too long ago. It looks like sort of fun action thriller, so James McAvoy's always a great time, and Mark Strong is a very good actor, so I'm looking forward to watching this one. Next up, we have Kevin Costner in The New Daughter. I can remember this one being in Poundland, but I never picked it up, but I saw it in One Below, so I thought, you know what, give it a go. I think Kevin Costner's a brilliant actor, very underrated. So this was at the time when I was on a Kevin Costner kick. Ooh, Kevin Costner kick after watching Dances with Wolves and The Untouchables, so that's why I picked it up. Next up, we have a film starring Burt Reynolds, Sarah Bond, Samantha Bond, Imelda Staunton, and Derek Jacobi in A Bunch of Amateurs. I can remember this one coming out. This one came out in about 2008, I think. 2009. I was actually quite surprised to see it had a Blu-ray release of all things. But basically it sees like a washed up American actor coming over here thinking they're doing a big production, and no they're not. They're just doing like King Lear in a local stage theatre. So yeah, it looks like it's going to be a lot of fun, so I'm really looking forward to watching this one. Should be a good sort of British comedy. I actually thought this was the first film, but no, I think this might actually be one of the later ones and one of the not very good ones. And that is Paranormal Activity, The Ghost Dimension. Never seen a Paranormal Activity film. Heard pretty decent things about the first one, but there's like a never-ending slew of sequels. This one includes a theatrical cut, extended cut, as well as one with an alternative ending, so there's like 3 versions of the film. I thought it was the first one. It isn't. I don't know what entry this one is, but it's one of the later ones, but I'll give it a go and see what I think. And this one, I have no idea what it's about. I think it's like an army thing, and that is, well, I think it's an army thing. It looks like an army thing. It is codename Geronimo. Yeah. I have no idea what it is. For some reason, I picked it up. It says it's the greatest manhunt in history. It's by the producer of the Hurt Locker, so it could be alright. It's probably going to be a film that I'll give to my dad because I don't know why I picked it up really, but first up is a part of the Divergent series. I think this might be the second or last of the series. I really want to get into this film franchise because it looks actually quite good. But I picked up Allegiant. I don't know which one this is. This is either the second or the third in the entry. And this one's based on a book series. I think the first one's Divergence, and then there's Allegiance, and then there's another one. Can't remember, but once I get all the films, I'll then watch them all and see what I think. Next one, we have a film with Joseph Gordon-Levitt and Michael Shannon in, called Premium Rush. Basically, it's like an Uber driver before Uber became a thing. Came out in like about 2013. Don't really know much about it, but Michael Shannon's a great actor, as is Joseph Gordon-Levitt, so it could be an alright time. Next up is a sort of British comedy classic, and that is about a boy. Very heartwarming film. Absolutely loved this one back in the day. Haven't seen it in years. Hugh Grant at his finest. One of the best early 2000 films from him. I think it actually stars Rachel Weisz in it. Haven't seen it in years, but really looking forward to giving this one a rewatch. You can tell how old it is because it actually says the News of the World says it's the best British movie in years. Very old. Next up is another Joseph Gordon-Levitt film. This one stars Zoe Deschanel, whatever her last name is. Watched this years ago, really enjoyed it. It's a very sweet sort of rom-com, and that's 500 Days of Summer. It's got a really good soundtrack as well, with the Smiths being in it. Really enjoyed watching it back in the day, and I'm definitely going to have to give this one a rewatch. It's such a good film. Next up is a film starring Dylan McDermott, the dude from Olympus Has Fallen, and a TV series called Hostages. Yeah, this one basically sees him trapped in a freezer of all things and trying to find his way out. It's a very, very odd title, but I think the dude's a pretty good actor. He was fantastic in Olympus Has Fallen, and he was great in this like TV series with Toni Collette called Hostages. So hopefully he's pretty good here. It's not a very long film, it's only about 79 minutes. Never heard of it, but it could be alright. It's one of those straight Stevie Deeb stuff. You never know what you're going to get. Next one is a film starring Keira Knightley, as well as people. I've never heard of this film, but I've heard it's quite a decent sort of thriller horror film, and that is called The Hole. This one came out all the way back in like 2001. It's got a pretty good cast in it, so I'm looking forward to watching it. I don't really know a lot about it. I've bought it mainly for the cast. Next up is a childhood favourite of mine that is still stuck on VHS in this house. Wow, that's until now. And that is Stuart Little with Michael J. Fox. Absolutely love this film. Such a good time. I used to love watching this as a kid. You've also got Gina Davis in it as well as Hugh Laurie. And it's just a wonderful little film. I've seen the sequel, the second one. I wasn't too keen on it. And there was a third one, like an animated one. I never even watched that one. But when I saw this in One Below, I had to snap it up quickly. And it also comes with this lovely, lovely slip cover. You also get absolutely abundance of special features, so I'm very happy to add this to the collection and rewatch it soon to see if it still holds up. Here's a film that I've never seen, but I've heard a lot of positive things about, and It's a musical, which isn't a genre I'm really that keen on, but it's got Emma Stone in it, so I'm willing to give it a go. And that's La La Land. Looks like a lovely looking film. I've seen the trailers a couple of times, and I've always been wanting to watch it. Probably this will be the film that'll get me into musicals. I don't know, but nevertheless, I am really looking forward to watching this one. We have a sports film here. I'm not really big into sports films, but I've heard a lot of positive things about this one. This stars Chris Hemsworth as well as Daniel Bruhl. Is it his name? Daniel Bruhl. I remember my friend who's really into F1 really ranting about this one, saying how brilliant it is. And that's Rush. Yeah. I think this has been doing the rounds on Blu-ray, but I don't mind picking it up for a quid on DVD. It even comes in a really nice red case. Basically about a rivalry of these two F1 drivers. It's directed by Ron Howard, won loads of awards, so yeah, I'll certainly give this one a go. And then another childhood favourite popped up in One Below, and again, still got this on VHS, needed a DVD of it, and that's Pokemon the first movie. Used to love this film back in the day when I was a kid, used to rewatch it loads of times. I mean, I'm a big Pokemon fan, I still play all the video games to this day, but I haven't seen this film in like probably about 15 to 20 years, so it'll be interesting to see if it holds up. I've heard from my friends who are into Pokemon that it really doesn't hold up very well, but after watching Detective Pikachu a couple of years ago and absolutely loving it, I really want to start collecting these old Pokemon movies. Next up we have a double pack with Jamie Foxx as well as Jake Gyllenhaal. I got it for the last title in this collection, but we have The Kingdom as well as Jarhead. I did pick up Jarhead 3 or Jarhead The Siege a couple of months ago on Blu-ray. I don't know why, because it was absolutely awful, but I really wanted to watch the original one and it came in a double pack, so I thought, you know what, just get it like this. I mean, Jamie Foxx is a great actor, so The Kingdom could be a pretty good time, but I've heard a lot of positive things about Jarhead, so I will certainly be watching that one quite shortly. Actually, Jamie Foxx is in Jarhead. I didn't realise that till now. Next up, we have a bit of Nicolas Cage with Julianne Moore and Jessica Biel. Next. Never heard of it, but it looks like it's going to be another Nicolas Cage action fest. It's always a good time. Even Nicolas Cage, when he's in a bad movie, it's still rather entertaining. I've heard this one's actually one of the better ones, so yeah, should be alright. And we also have the multi-award winning film that I have seen a couple of times, pretty good film, and that is The Hurt Locker. Great cast in this: Jeremy Renner, Anthony Mackie, Evangeline Lilly, Ralph Fiennes. Very good war film. Quite emotional at times. I haven't seen it for a little while, so definitely glad to have it in the collection and give it a rewatch. I actually really quite like that artwork. I think it's quite good. Next up, we have a bit of Jason Statham and Jessica Alba and Tommy Lee Jones. In The Mechanic Resurrection, I have seen the original Mechanic years ago. Can't really remember much about it. It's basically just another Jason Statham action film. And this one's basically just going to be more of the same. Jason Statham killing loads of people. It's going to be a lot of fun. I think this one came out in the mid-2010s. Haven't seen it, but I am looking forward to watching it. Should be a fun sort of over-the-top action film. And the final one from One Below is a film starring Keira Knightley as well as Mickey Rourke. And that's Domino. Yeah, this one looks really, really good. This one's going to be another action film, and it's great to see Keira Knightley in a more action focused role. I've heard a lot of positive things about this one that is quite underrated, so I'm very looking forward to watching this one. I think Lucy Liu's in this one as well, and Christopher Walken, so that's cool. So yeah, that's Domino. Next up is all the H&B stuff, and first up I'm going to talk about a box set that I picked up, and that is the Nightmare on Elm Street box set, which includes all first 7 Nightmares, but it doesn't include like the remake that came out a few years ago. This is actually on 5 discs instead of 7, so that's pretty cool. It's all on Blu-ray. We have the first Nightmare on Elm Street with a slew of special features. We have Nightmare on Elm Street 2, Freddy's Revenge, Nightmare on Elm Street 3, The Dream Warriors. Then we have on disc 3, Nightmare on Elm Street 4, The Dream Master, and The Dream Child. Then disc 4 we have Freddy's Dead, The Final Nightmare, and Wes Craven's New Nightmare. This one also includes like a bonus disc, which is a DVD, which includes like 3 hours of special features, including retrospectives, a couple of episodes from the TV series called Freddy's Nightmares, which I had seen quite a few years ago and didn't mind. So yeah, very happy to get this in the collection. I have never seen a Friday the 13th film. Like most iconic horror series, I haven't seen it, so I'm really happy to have this in the collection. Not too bad for 20 quid. I think this normally does the rounds for about 30, so for a nice box set with 7 films, I didn't think that was too bad for 20 quid. Talking of classic horror films, we have another one here. This one was on offer if you bought something and it was only a £5, so I thought, you know what, pick it up. And it's got a really nice slip, and that's the original Friday the 13th. So yeah, really happy to get this in the collection. Never seen Friday the 13th before, but I do know there's quite a few different sequels. I've heard the sequel's quite good. But yeah, very excited to watch this one. So yeah, it's not very long, it's only 95 minutes, and you do get quite a few special features in it. It also stars Kevin Bacon, which is quite cool. Yeah, so it's all set in like Camp Crystal Lakes. This will be the first time for me watching it. I still haven't seen it yet, so I'm definitely going to get around to it really shortly. And I bundled that up with another horror film, David Cronenberg, The Fly. Yeah, starring Jeff Goldblum. Heard a lot of positive things about it. I think I might have seen the original one years ago, but I've never seen this remake. David Cronenberg was really good in Nightbreed. Really enjoyed him. He was such a great actor in that. But I'm really looking forward to watching some of his directed work with The Fly. So yeah, really very happy to have it in the collection. And then next up is, as the Arrow sale is in full swing, I picked up a couple of Arrow titles. I picked up Wreck. Watched this one the other day and it is fantastic. I'm not a big found footage fan, but this one was brilliant. It's only about 70-80 minutes long, but it's a perfectly told horror tale. Basically, it follows this young news reporter as she joins this fire crew as they go investigate in like this apartment building where this virus or whatever it is has broken out. Basically, they all attend to it. The whole building gets put into lockdown, and then events take a spiral where these sort of crazed, not like zombie creatures, but crazed like infected people stalk the streets. Stalk the streets, stalk the halls. It's a brilliant film, on the edge of your seats from the moment it starts to the moment it finishes. It doesn't outstay its welcome. Its pacing is brisk. It's thrilling as ever, and there's plenty of jump scares. Brilliant film, absolutely loved it, and I think Arrow done a fantastic job with this release. Next up is a film that I really weren't that bothered about picking up, but then I saw it and I thought, oh, that's a nice front cover, and then I read the back of it, read who was in it, and watched the trailer, and I thought, you know what, this is going to be quite good. Basically, it stars Gemma Redgrave as basically a newlywed who's worrying about her up-and-coming wedding. She gets visions and stuff like that. Its cast is really good. As I said, it's got Gemma Redgrave in it, as well as Timothy Spall and Jimmy Now of Auf Wiedersehen fame. So yeah, I think this was like stuck on VHS for years, so it's great to see it actually get a Blu-ray release. This one actually comes with 2 editions of the film. You get the director's cut, as well as an alternative original theatrical version. You get a huge amount of special features here, sort of featurettes, interviews, as well as trailers, and you do get a booklet in this, as well as a poster I've heard, so that's real cool. Not too bad for $7.99, I don't. Next up is a film that I've been after for quite a while, starring Sir Michael Caine, and that is Pulp. Yes, this is a sort of like murder mystery thing. Michael Caine plays like a novelist who writes all these famous novels, and then somebody gets murdered, and then he's have to try to solve the murder. It's from the early 70s, looks really good, it's got a Mickey Rooney in it, so it should be a good time. It's probably a film that my parents would like to watch. This actually still comes with a booklet, which is quite surprising considering how old this release is. I think this is about 5 or 6 years old. but very happy to get this in the collection. Fantastic artwork. Michael Caine is always a brilliant time in everything he's in, even Cars 2. He's probably the only decent thing about Cars 2, but hey. And the final couple of things are 2 Dario Argento Arrow releases. First up is Tenebrae, which is sort of like a murder mystery thing. It's about this new writer about to release his book, and women around him are getting murdered with like pages of the books being shoved in their mouths. It looks like a very twisted and dark sort of giallo type film, so I'm very excited to watch this, as I absolutely loved A Bird with the Crystal Plumage. So yeah, that's Tenebrae. And the final one I picked up is a film with Jennifer Connelly from Labyrinth fame, as well as Donald Pleasance from Halloween, and that's Phenomena. Yeah, this one seems to follow like the same sort of gist. Like, this girl's in like this school, I think, and her friends are being murdered one by one, but this girl has like special abilities to control like bugs and insects, and she's got to find out who's been murdering all these classmates with the help of Donald Pleasance. So very looking forward to watching this one. Again, another Dario Argento film. I think this is from the mid-80s, so yeah, very excited to watch this one. And with that, the end of the month haul is over. Yep, that's all the titles I picked up in the month of October, and overall it's not a bad little selection. We've had a few bits from Poundland, a load of stuff from One Below, quite a lot of rubbish from One Below, as well as quite a few good horror films such as The Nightmare on Elm Street box set, which I'm really looking forward to watching, as this will be a first time watch, as well as like Friday the 13th and The Fly, as well as a few Arrow titles. So overall, not a bad little month for overall. So anyway, as always, thank you very much for watching my video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you could like and subscribe, that would be totally awesome. And as always, till next time, bye.